Welcome back to Hot Rod Guy Garage. We're still in the land of misfit cars here at the house, so follow me along through the intro and we'll talk about it. So guys, I've been working along trying to get everything back running. So, Free Crow runs, SVO runs, and Project Phoenix obviously runs because you can't kill a GM 3800. But my green car, my 71 Torino, it's always been the most reliable car I've owned. It's got problems. It's out here in the yard since the last time I drove it. I drove it to Summit Racing, get them rocker arms for the 70 Torino. It's sat out here since then. I started it up, drove it to the shop. It was only running on 6 cylinders. And I couldn't figure out why. So I've been out here diagnosing it. Ended up having one dead coil pack on the driver's side. We got a dead injector on the passenger side, which is no surprise. I assume the injector probably died from it sitting these extended periods of time that it has. And got pulse width on the injector, so we need to fix that today. So that's what we're going to do. So let's get started. Alright, so I got the injectors out of the passenger side rail. And the easiest way I know how to test these is take something like a power probe right here. You're going to connect it to the ground to one side of the injector. This is easier if you get a spare plug, but we'll connect ground one end of the injector, one side, and you'll pulse it here. And what you want to hear is a solid click. I've also cleaned injectors like this before and put a piece of hose over here with some brake cleaner or carburetor cleaner, and you can back flush them by doing the same method, but you have to be careful not to arc it off. So I done pulsed all these injectors. They all click except for this one right here. It clicks, but it's very weak. And this was the cylinder I was having a misfire on. So I would say this injector is probably on its way out. So regardless, I know it's a fuel issue because I've got spark on all 8 cylinders now. So it's either a fuel issue, and I have pulse from the injector plug. So hopefully putting a set of injectors in it will cure the issue. I've got a set of new used Holley injectors that come from Roush Racing out of one of their dyno engines. They've sat on the shelf for a little while, but they were clean when they were put on the shelf. So that's what I'm going to put in it. The ones that were in the car are 42-pound injectors, so I'm going to put some 46 pounds in it because I have them and they don't cost me anything at this point. So let's get this other fuel rail off. I'll check those injectors and we'll go from there. So in my troubleshooting phase, I just temporarily stuck some used coils I had up here on the valve cover. This has coil relocations that are back here behind the shock tower. So I wanted to make sure that it was actually a bad coil, and that was the easiest way to do it on this side. So we need to get this fuel rail off. Our fuel line comes in the back, our crossover is in the front, so we just got to unplug the injector plugs, take out 2 7/16 bolts, and disconnect the fuel line back there, and then we'll be in business. I've got these other injectors out, so let me see if they click and do what they're supposed to. Alright, I got my new injectors down here on the lower. These are old ones. What I'm going to do before I put these in, I'm going to spray them with a little silicone spray. Just some generic silicone spray. And that will help these slip into the fuel rail a little better. So, just got to make sure you put them in the right orientation. And what you took off. But if you don't lube these O-rings, you take a chance of pinching them or damaging them. They're definitely a lot easier to put in an aftermarket fuel rail than they are a factory one. And yes, I am using Project Phoenix as a workbench. I'm outside, I'm at home, and it's all I got. So it does work for these type of things. So I really hope this fixes the problem. I don't know if it will or not, but this is where I was at in my diagnosis. So I really hope it fixes it, because if so, it'll be an easy fix. For me, a cheap fix. But the silicone lubricant won't swell these O-rings and cause you problems later. So got those in them rails. And I'm not going to throw these injectors away. I'm going to have them cleaned and flowed just to make sure that they're still okay. So that would have been the easiest answer, was just pull them out, took them somewhere, had them cleaned and flowed, and then I'd known if I had a bad injector, or one that was partially clogged, or one that was mostly clogged. But since I have a way of tuning this car, and I had these injectors and I know they're good, it's easier for me just to swap them. In reality, they're close enough to the flow rate of the old ones that I should be able to put them in there and start the car without messing with the tune much. But it will give me an idea if my miss will go away. And if not, we're going to have to diagnose further. mist is gone. The injectors helped. It sounded better with injectors, but when you cracked the throttle, it still had a little mist. So I come out here and put another set of coil packs on it. And that didn't make no difference either. The way I've been diagnosing, I've just been unplugging the injector or unplugging the coil to see if it made any difference the way it run. I have checked for spark, but I never pulled the spark plug out of this car. These are OE replacements, and they have been in this motor about 8 years. While this one still looks good, I don't know if you can see, but it's shiny and wet. Shiny and wet means it's not firing. So even though I had spark and I rolled it down that injector, it seems we still didn't have spark. Part of it, guys. Always cover all your bases when you're diagnosing something. So I'm gonna get this extra set of coil packs off this thing. I'm gonna hook my ones that were on the car back up. I'll pull the other coil rack off of it over there and swap that one bad coil that's on the other side. And we'll see if this thing still runs good. Swap back to my old coils on the passenger side, and things are still all good in the world. So, yep. Even now, guys, sometimes the simple things, you overlook them. I really didn't expect this to be cylinder rate's problem. Like I said, these are OE, like from the GM dealership, AC Delco plugs, the correct plug. It's supposed to be a 100,000 mile plug. I put 9,000 miles on this car since this motor's been in it. So, looks like I'm going to go to the parts store in the morning and just put some fresh NGKs in it. So, let's get this other coil off the coil relocation, where I can get all my other stuff back to its normal way things look, and we'll go from there. Coils are on. Put my other two plug wires took off too back on it. Been letting it run out here a little while. Sounds normal. Don't have that mist to it when you first crack the throttle. So hopefully it's fixed. But I got some more things to tidy up first, then we take it for a ride. So, go get my stuff picked up and, tidy up things where I'm messing with stuff. Well, let the fun begin. Let's see how much the tune's changed. I went in there and changed it to a 46-pound injector instead of 42, so we'll see what we need to do from here. well, everything looks pretty good. I went in there and edited my VE table. I've got to flash the computer, but so far everything looks alright. We have no codes. Seems to be running pretty darn decent. And if anybody notices that oil pressure gauge in any of this video, it's goofy. It don't read right. The sender, there's something wrong with it. So that's another thing I need to address, but not really worried about it right now. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a fully operational automobile again. Other than it being filthy and nasty, I need to get it cleaned up. I'll probably do that tomorrow. But got another driver back up and running. That's what the important thing is at this point. So I'm not just having to rely on SVO. So let me get this thing buttoned up because I know you can't see it, but it's getting late. So let me do that and I'll be back. Well, guys, I just couldn't wait, and I had to go ahead and clean at least the outside of it up a little bit. I didn't really spend a whole lot of time. Just washed all the dust and dirt and stuff where it's been sitting in the backyard. So I want to remind everybody that we do have our merch store open, and I went ahead and ordered some samples of this stuff. That way I knew exactly what I was selling you guys. So stuff turned out pretty nice. I'm pretty impressed with it. And just want to remind everybody, these right here, these shirts, they go to help with my projects and shop projects. All the revenue from them. And of course, we can't forget Daisy. Even though she's not here at the house, she's at the shop. That's her shirt, and she'll be glad to see it in person. And we also got hats. I had this one made because it looked pretty patriotic and I thought it's pretty cool. So this is actually embroidered. It's not printed on it. It's just super nice little hat. And if you don't notice, I generally wear the same hat all the time, and I figured I need a new one anyway. That said, guys, that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoy these videos, make sure you hit that like button. Share these with your friends. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button because it does help the channel to grow. If you are a subscriber, I greatly appreciate you guys. So until the next video, I'll see you at the next one. Thanks for watching.